What's happening, Wisdom Warriors? Back at it for another video. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. And before we start the Sunday sermon, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for everybody for today and for the collective. Get excited because tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, from what it looks like, the camera is going to be here. So things will be shifting on this channel once that comes. And if everything works out with it, it's going to be definitely adding flair to this channel. So get excited, man, because new content, new series that I'm working on, just a lot coming on this channel. So get ready, get prepared. We hit 500 and we go live. And I may bring somebody on the channel live. So we'll see about that. I'm not going to promise that, but I did say we hit 500 subscribers and I will go live. So get it, can make it happen, man. Let's, we're getting there slowly but surely, and I'm just grateful for, each and every one of you who participates in the comments, who shares, who likes, who subscribes. And if you don't, that's okay too, because if you get something out of it, it's all good. I don't need to essentially know that you got something out of it. It is nice. It does help others. But at the same time, it's all good, What you get is what you get, and what you want to give back is your choice and your your choice, like I said, and you make that choice yourself. So I don't force you. I'd appreciate you hitting the like button and commenting and subscribing and sharing, because you're helping not only yourself, but you're helping to grow the channel. But what you choose to do is choose to do, and that's okay either way. I still love you. I'm still grateful you're watching the content and getting something out of it, and if you saw the short I posted today, we're going to talk a little bit more about, just give me a second here. Let's pull this card for the collective spirit. What do we have for spirit? What's coming towards spirit? What's coming towards the collective this week? What do you have for us as a collective energy? Okay, we got one here, guys. Flew out of the deck. Let's just say it flew out of the deck. It took a little shuffling, but it flew out of the deck. We have the Nine of Wands. Look at that card, man. Every time I show these cards, and just the beauty of the artwork is just amazing. I mean, every one of them, every time I, see each one of them, I more and more am appreciative for the artwork that this individual came with, that I purchased these cards off Etsy, and beautiful cards, just beautiful. So yeah, we got the Nine of Wands, and for me, I get that he's just like standing. He's just like manifesting. He's waiting in the wind for just what's to come. Kind of like the unknown. Kind of like he's peaceful. He's feeling at peace for what's coming, and knowing that, kind of like I get trust, and trusting in what's coming, and that he's at peace with whatever it is. See what you get from it. I feel like that's more and more the way that the collective is moving. That we're more at peace, and we know our worth, and we know we're beginning to be as authentic as we possibly can, and stand in our truth and our power. And I kind of get that with him too. He's standing in his power, and kind of like I also got, he doesn't really care what anybody thinks, and it's kind of like the theme of what we're going to be kind of talking about, and going more deeper into. But yeah, see what you get. Drop in the comments. I would love to hear it. Again, this is if you ever want to get it, let me know. The Harmony Tarot deck. I did get it off Etsy. I love it. I just love the artwork. I love what it represents. And I honestly connect to that deck more than I connect to this one. I really haven't picked this deck up since I got that one. I just feel like drawn to this deck, and much, much more than, the original Rider Tarot deck. But, so where we are going to go with this sermon today, I want everybody to remember that you are valuable, you are worth it, you are, amazing and talented, and you can do anything that you want to do, and you're a beautiful soul and beautiful human being, and you have so much to offer. The thing of it is when I feel like, from my experience, you become more seen and heard when you open your heart and you're vulnerable and you're transparent and you're all of you. Yet a lot of us tend to want to hide different parts of ourselves. They tend to want to pretend necessarily who they are and show up in secrecy or in a way that we don't express all of ourselves, or express who we really are and what we really like and don't like, and that's not self-love. That's not loving yourself. That's not being kind and caring and showing yourself love that way, and the more you can be all of you and be authentic, you begin to give yourself the self-love that you have been yearning for, your inner child. I was listening to this profound speaker today, and a lot of it resonated with me heavy. And I started to realize that all these things that we do to numb and distract and avoid are us essentially avoiding our inner child, our the little guy inside. And like, he said it so powerfully, man. Like, wow, it kind of really hit home. And now I kind of realize what I've been doing the last few years by just listening more and more, compared to what I used to do, where I used to essentially everything that I did in the past, I did, like, for example, I've been an entrepreneur for many, many years, and for the most part, I worked from home when I wasn't doing service calls. And typically, I found myself watching TV whenever I was at home, while doing the work, the busy work, the paperwork, all those things. It was like, it was a total distraction from listening to my inner child, or listening to myself and hearing what the inner child wanted and needed from me. And I was basically like shutting him out to avoid him, essentially, and what his needs were and what he wanted. And then essentially it just got louder. It got louder in ways that I had my back spasming, my neck spasming. I had illnesses that came up. I had health challenges. And just like I spoke on a video, I think it was yesterday, on dis-ease in the body, dis-ease. It's essentially the pushing down or avoidance of the emotions or feelings that are trying to be seen, just like the inner child wants to be seen and heard. And then you wonder why you're like, well, no one hears me. No one listens. No one understands me. But are you actually understanding or listening or hearing your inner child, the child inside of you? Probably not. Most likely you've been engaging in ways to numb out or blaming other people or, uh, you know, um, finding ways with your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, friends to, essentially not listen and ignore the inner child, the child inside that just wants to be seen and heard. And yet you wonder why you aren't being seen and heard. I spoke about this way back on a previous video about the universe is a mirror, mirrors us. And that's essentially what the inner child's doing. And then you're like, well, yeah, I don't feel heard. I don't feel seen. I don't. And then you try to use the external world to be seen with Instagram or social media, getting likes or views or subscribers, or it's like the inner child is crying out to be seen and heard. And you're doing it through these platforms to try to fill that void that the inner child is needing. And man, I'll tell you, it's really interesting when somebody really hits home or clicks. It clicks like that. Like you have that aha moment. Like you're like, wow, wait a minute. Okay, maybe I haven't been tending to my inner child. Maybe I haven't been allowing it to come through or show me what it needs and wants, because that, my friends, is true self-love. And the more you can do that, the more intimacy you're going to have with the inner child, with that child. And I don't mean sexually. I mean just intimacy, like love, like self-love, which is the most powerful thing we can give ourselves. And that's all that really it wants and needs, is to be seen and heard and listened to, just like you want to be listened to when you're talking to a friend or a partner or a family member. You want to just be seen and heard. But we argue and fight like, oh, you're not listening to me. You don't hear me. You don't understand me. But are you actually understanding your inner child? Are you actually listening? Are you actually hearing? Are you actually paying attention to the needs and wants that it needs? Like for example, eating the healthy food, or not overeating or under eating, or too much consuming of streaming platforms, or over scrolling on social media. All of those things are ways to avoid listening to what the inner child wants, and hear and feeling those feelings, that like that tightness in the chest, or that uncomfortability in the chest, or that fear surrounding you going somewhere, that you maybe have fear surrounding it. And if we took more time to just listen, which I kind of break it up a bit. I mean, throughout my day, and especially when I wake up early. I mean, literally, I'm finding myself now. No, I mean, I kind of stayed up a little later than I usually do last night. Maybe you'll laugh about it, and that's okay. Either way, I don't really care. But the point of the matter is, I stayed up till about 10:30 and 10:40 maybe, and usually I'm in bed by like 9:30. And ironically enough, well, I wake up multiple times throughout the night to go to the bathroom, and then I found myself at like 2:30 up, wide awake. And what I when I began to listen during yoga and meditation this morning, I realized that I was taking a class last night, and it ended about a little after 9, and I was on the computer doing it was a Zoom, and I actually told you guys about it, the tarot class. And I didn't really, honestly, I didn't really like the fact that when I signed up that it was going to be till 9 o'clock at night, because I don't really necessarily like being on the computer that late. It's first of all, it kind of I felt very wired after I got off the computer, and I didn't give myself a chance to wind down prior to going to sleep. And maybe some of you can be up late on technology. I don't find myself that's good for me. Computer or phone, any of that, I like to just put it aside, and I may glance at it, but I'm not continuously on it or listening to anything on it. And I said to myself when I signed up for the class, it was a 5-week class, once a week. Oh, well, it's going to be all right. It's only once a week. And a lot of these things I find myself signing up to or wanting to see is late my time zone. And I don't necessarily, that to me is not giving myself self-love. And I'm not giving myself time to prepare myself for sleep. And so I woke up at like 2:33 and I was wired again. And I didn't really, I've been saying every day that I haven't felt really like I've gotten a really deep good night's sleep. But this morning, it felt even worse. I was like, man, I definitely didn't get a good night's sleep after. And I realized that it wasn't good for me to do that. I realized it wasn't the right thing for me. So we have to sometimes, because again, I've told you guys this also, it's happening to us or by us and for us. So, how are we going to know if that's good or bad for us if we don't experience it? So I experienced it, and now I realize that no, that's not a good thing for me. And there is another event that is every week, every evening on Wednesdays. It's even later, and I've just decided it's not for me. And yes, I would like to be there live so I can ask questions too. The fact of the matter is, it's not good for me to be on that late at night on the computer, on engaging in that kind of thing, because it kind of sets you up for a not so great rest or sleep. I feel like maybe you can do differently. Maybe it's different for you, but I need some time to wind down. I know that about myself, and I like to go to bed early because I'm up early and I'm meditating and doing yoga, and I have a breath work practice and all this stuff that is something I commit to and something that is consistent for me. And I feel like it assists me in grounding. It assists me in listening to my inner child, because I get a lot of downloads during the meditation practice and the yoga practice and the breath work practice. Like this morning, a lot of things came through and came up, and I noticed it, and I was aware, so I try to find the things that are during the day, because at night it's not for me. For me, it's not a good time to engage in those things. And I always found that to be the case. When I was in relationships and I was dating women that were nocturnal, nocturnal, or they stayed up really late or all night long, it was not good for me. I'd be on the phone with them till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. They'd be exhausted and falling asleep. And then I'm wired and up the rest of the night. And I even then, and that was, prior to me hitting rock bottom a few times, and I was dating different women, and they enjoyed being up all night and I didn't. And I was always an early riser, and I always felt the need to have to go to bed at a certain time. It always had to be before 11 o'clock, for me. Now I've gone much earlier, but doing those things for yourself is self-love, is loving yourself, knowing the things that are good for you and not abusing that and overdoing it is self-love, is loving yourself. So if you stay up late and you know that that's not good for you, then that's not self-love. You're not practicing self-love for yourself. If you go out with individuals that don't resonate with you and you don't feel in alignment with, that's not self-love, because you're just doing it out of acceptance and love outside of yourself, and not accepting and loving yourself and saying, you know what, that's not good for me. I'm not going to do that. And or buying these things that you don't need, or engaging in streaming services that you don't need too much, or overdoing it, because it's not a bad thing if you have balance. Again, it always goes back to balance, and that you're giving yourself the love and care and time that you need, and tending to your inner child more and more. So if you could do one thing from this video after you listen to it, I would suggest you find one thing from what I said, and give yourself that love, and listen to yourself, and pay attention to what the inner child needs, and what its needs are, and what its wants are, and taking care of that, and doing maybe once a day, doing that. And then the more and more you do that, the more and more you're going to find yourself loving yourself more and more, and caring for yourself more and more, and doing the things that are healthy and in balance. And you will see the less and less health challenges, the less and less conflicts with others, the less and less, the more and more peace you're going to find. Like going in nature is loving yourself, and not taking your phone with you or any sort of technology, and just spending time in nature, listening to your inner child, maybe dancing in your room by yourself, that's another form of self-love. Maybe a massage, getting a massage, spending time alone with yourself. Those are all ways you can love yourself more, and you can show your inner child more love, and you will see the love that you have for yourself and your inner child will connect more deeply with each other, and you'll find that these relationships outside of yourself will be better, and you'll be in the ones that are better for you, and not an addictive mentality or pattern to avoid and numb out from your inner child. So yeah, man, I hope you enjoyed today's sermon. I really do. And I can't thank you enough again for subscribing to the channel, for liking, for commenting, for sharing. I love reading your comments, and I love commenting. I just get giddy doing it, and I get excited, and just knowing that I can bring you these messages from my experiences to help you, and to help you remember yourself, and come home to yourself. I love you all so much. I'm truly blessed and grateful to be a part of this community, and to share my experiences, and to share the things I do on a daily basis, and my practices, and just all of it. So if you haven't already, I appreciate you please, subscribing, sharing, commenting, liking, sharing these videos out to whoever you can, just growing this community, just growing this channel, just sharing your stories and just, giving yourself more love and kindness and compassion, and the inner child, of course, and paying attention to the inner child, because all it wants to do is be heard. Most likely, majority of your childhood, it wasn't heard. Especially growing up in these times with so many distractions, with so much technology, we're completely avoiding and ignoring our inner child, and not paying attention to it. And that's all it wants, man. You know, just wants to be heard and listened to. And then you wonder why the pain comes out, and you get tightness in the chest or pain in your chest, or just stuff that comes up, health challenges, skin challenges, whatever the case may be. It's your inner child like, yo, 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 are you listening to me? Listen. Just listen for once and stop ignoring me. You know how much we hurt it every day by grabbing the phone, grabbing this technology every day? How much we're like, F you, man. Like, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm going to just grab my phone and just ignore what you have to say and numb out. Or watch some streaming service, or stay busy, or, just distract with a million new friends, or your relationship, or whatever, and not give yourself that time that you need with the inner child, even if it's an hour a day. I mean, we all have 24 hours in a day. You could take 1 hour a day, and then the other times you could stay busy and whatever you want to do, but take that 1 hour a day and listen. Just listen. Be silent and listen to the feelings you're getting. Listen to what you may not hear anything. It may be like you may not hear words. You may just feel, and just feel what you connect to those feelings. Feel what it feels like, that fear, what it's connecting to, what that joy is connecting to, what that creativity is connecting to, and even if it's difficult to do an hour, do 5-10 minutes a day. Start with that, and that, my friends, is self-love. That, my friends, is loving on yourself. That, my friends, is listening. And you'll start to see, as you do that, more people will listen to you, and you will feel heard, and you will feel listened to. And so, anyways, again, I love you all. I could go on and on about this topic. I'm sure there'll be more content about it in the future. And, as I grow and I evolve with you all, I love you all so much again. Thank you again from my heart to yours. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. We're growing. We just reached 50 subscribers. So the channel's growing, man, whether we like it or not. It's happening. Again, slowly but surely, but it's happening. And it's happening in divine timing. And I'm truly grateful and blessed. I love you all. Hope you enjoyed today's sermon. Again, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Happy New Year. I love you all so much again. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Love on yourself. Listen to your inner child. Listen to yourself. Pay attention to what he or she needs, because that's all she or he is asking for. Take care. Stay blessed. I love you. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors. We got this.